Hey gang, Aaron Fisher here with another episode of the Card Magic Minute. This is my chance to share with you some of the profound lessons about card magic that my students are learning every week when we study together during the course of my online personal training program. Now, I often talk about this idea that learning to perform just a couple minutes of disarming, natural, entertaining magic is a lot like trying to establish a beachhead on the shores of Normandy before the big invasion. You want to march on Germany, but before you can even begin to do that, you really have to get onto the beach, get all your boats up there, all your food lines, all your supply lines, everything going on without getting blown off into the water. And that's a lot what it's like when you first start to perform magic for people. Just in order to first start a card trick without making everyone suspicious or making them smell your fear and start to pick on you, or just to keep them enjoying the show through your very first minute of magic that you'll ever perform, you're going to have to learn how to just control a card. You're going to have to learn how to have one selected, just to use the overhand shuffle, which I believe is the most natural, wonderful method of card control perhaps you'll ever learn. You've got to know how to run the cards. You've got to know how to shuffle them in groups. You've got to know how to make both of those things look uniform and together. You've got to know how to in-jog and run a specific number of cards off. Then you have to know how to undercut, or, as most guys do, have a jog, shuffle off, then take a break, shuffle off, and throw to the break. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how important it is to layer these different skills on in small, incremental steps. Most of us as magicians have a hard time learning these card techniques because we try and learn 3 or 4 or 5 or sometimes 6 or 7. I mean, it really gets funny when you start to see what folks are doing. Different skills at the exact same time. And you can't do it. Not if you want each and every one of these skills, like new features on your iPhone, to be rolled out in front of the public and to work without getting you blown off of the beach into the ocean. So what I wanted to suggest today is that when you're learning to do the overhand shuffle control, and they take the card, and they place their card, in this case the Queen of Diamonds, back in the deck, and you in-jog and shuffle off, don't worry about getting a break right now. Just focus, because ultimately, first of all, that's going to be wonderful. You'll be able to shuffle down, throw off. It's going to give you more control in the long term. But for the moment, have the card placed back in the pack, in-jog, and just focus on the standard undercut. Shuffle off, undercut, and throw. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have stuff to practice, and that doesn't mean that you don't have important things that you need to master before you go on and add the right thumb break to that process. But I think you'll do a lot better in the long term if before you start adding that next level, in this case the right thumb break, you actually work on layering in the correct focus and attention details to the simple shuffle the way it is. And so this is an exercise I often work on with my students after they've been working on the overhand shuffle for a couple weeks when they're ready for it, and today I'll offer it to you. And this is learning to add one of Juan Tamaris's favorite of the 5 points of magic, the eyes, to that basic shuffle and learn how the focus really works in the context of the real thing. You take the card, in this case the King of Hearts, you place it back in the deck, kick the cards back up to dealing overhand position, and I discussed this in other early episodes of the Card Magic Minute that I suggest you go back and research and check out if you want more information. In-jog and shuffle off just like normal, and what am I doing? I am focused on this. I want the audience to see it. I may look up here and there, but generally speaking, I want them to remember that the cards have been shuffled, and I might not take this long in real life, but I'm exaggerating so you can see what I'm talking about. But now watch what my eyes do. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And now, watch carefully. And did you see what we did there? This time I'm going to do it top speed. I'm going to focus on the effect at all times, not the secret action, which is in this case cutting the deck at the in-jog, right? And now, of course, cutting that deck at the in-jog isn't particularly visible and it isn't particularly notable. But it isn't what I want the audience to focus on. I want them to focus on the fair shuffle, to really understand that the card has been lost in the deck. And so, of those two things going on, the shuffle and the undercut is technically the pass. It's where I'm cutting the card secretly and affecting the entire control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the effect, that shuffle, and then take all that energy and put it into the shuffle, and then as that shuffle completes and I'm going to do the cut, I'm going to shift that focus up toward the audience. I'm going to show that to you one more time. You're going to take that King of Hearts, you shuffle it into the pack, and I just want everyone to see that the cards are completely mixed in the deck. Now, Mary, I need your help with this trick. Now, as simple as that may seem, it's going to take some practice to learn how to direct your focus that confidently down to the cards, and then with a nice relaxed air, shift it upward at the exact moment that you want to. So if you really want to master the overhand shuffle and move your magic forward in a truly dynamic way that really fools, deceives, and makes it possible to amaze people, I suggest you focus on the focus first before adding another technique. Well, that's today's episode of the Card Magic Minute, and I surely do hope you like it. If what we're talking about here makes sense and you're ready to take your own magic to the next level, go to aaronfishermagic.com/coaching.htm and fill out a free student profile that will tell me a lot more about you and your magic, and I'll get back to you shortly with some ideas about how we can begin to study together. I think you're going to find that studying magic with me online is easy to set up, easy to manage, completely affordable, and designed specifically for you to help you progress down the royal road to card magic faster than you ever thought possible before. My name's Aaron Fisher. You can email me with questions or ideas for the next episode of the Card Magic Minute. I'm Aaron at aaronfishermagic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at aaronfishercard, and you can email me to be Facebook friends at facebook.com/aaronfisher. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you really soon.